call this meeting of the Atwater City Council, June 14th, 2021 to order. Director, Public Works Director, and invocation by Pastor Jose Fuentes. Pastor, you're here. Welcome. Please remain standing for the prayer. Please remain standing. Welcome, Pastor.
Father, Lord, I do ask you today, Lord, to be here with us today, Lord, as we have opportunity, Lord, to enjoy our freedom, Lord, because what you bring to us on the cross, Father. We ask you, Lord, for your blessings upon all the members here this evening, Lord, and everybody in this room, Father. Pray, Lord, that your will be done in all these situations that we talk about, or anything that's going on, Father. We just pray, Lord, that pray that your heart be felt everywhere. Pray that anything that you brought up, Lord, or just thought of, Lord, continue to pray, Father. Lord, we give you this day, Lord, we give you this time. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to do, Lord.
Roll call.
Ambrose,
Here.
Button,
Here.
Kale,
Here.
Raymond,
Here.
Creighton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Subsequent need items.
Mayor, there are none.
Approval agenda is posted or amended.
Motion to approve the agenda is posted.
Second.
Motion by Raymond, second by Ambrose.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Button,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Creighton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Tonight, we have two ceremonial matters. First is going to be certificate of recognition for Second Lieutenant Ryan Timothy Benz. Mr. Benz is a second lieutenant in the Army and a Atwater resident that I want Mr. Kale to tell a little bit about Mr. Benz before we come up and do the ceremony so that you guys can get a little background on him. Mr. Kale?
Thank you. Ryan Timothy Benz was born and raised in Atwater, California, and is the son of Kevin and Nancy Benz. In 2017, Ryan graduated from Buhat Colony High School. On May 22nd, 2021, Ryan graduated from the United States Military Academy at West Point. He earned his bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and graduated summa cum laude with a grade point average of 3.67. Only the top 5% of the graduating class can graduate summa cum laude, and Ryan is one of those grads. He also received the Superintendent's Award for Excellence. 8 days after Ryan graduated from West Point, on May 30th, 2021, he married Mallory Cordero, who he met in preschool. And he got reacquainted with her while attending Buhat Colony. This year in August, Ryan plans to attend the master's program at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT, for a 2-year scholarship program. Once he graduates from MIT, he will continue his 5-year military obligation. So we're gonna sit here and bring Ryan up, and we're going to do a proclamation and have him come up and introduce the city of Atwater to a star within our community. It's not very often that we get a graduate from our high schools who go on to a military academy. My dad wanted me to. Only problem, I was not disciplined enough. And the grades didn't help either, but we're gonna,
With
okay.
that, I think to pay you the proper respect, the entire council is going to come down here, and we're going to present you with a proclamation and let the city of Atwater residents see who we're most proud of today in the city of Atwater. What an accomplishment, and we're so proud of you. So council, can you join us down here? Chief, you have the microphone? So first off, welcome, and thank you so much for making Atwater shine. And are these your parents back here? Who are your parents?
Kevin and Nancy Benz.
Welcome, and what a great job you guys did. You know, they always say the kids reflect on the parents, and this is one I'd be sure proud of. And he's wearing the new Army uniform, too. I love it. It's a throwback to World War II. It's beautiful. So tonight, John Cale's an ex-Navy vet. I'm also an Air Force vet, but I want John Cale to read this as being he outranked me in the Navy, so we're going to do this according to protocol. And we have, where's the resolution at, Lori? Do we have the? Okay, just the certificate, okay. So John will read the certificate, and then we want your parents to come up after you say a few words, and then we want to introduce your parents and hear how you make such a wonderful All-American. You're our Captain America for Atwater, so I'm just really proud of you. Okay, Mr. Cale, take it away.
Well, I do want to say this first, is that, Ryan, I really didn't know you existed. And till your grandmother and grandfather came up to me at Granny's pantry one morning and said, "Look at my grandson." And I was like, wow, and she was telling me your story. And that day I left breakfast and I came right over here and said, we gotta recognize this young man. So tonight, the city of Atwater give a certificate of recognition awarded to Ryan Timothy Benz, Army Second Lieutenant, for his academic achievements at West Point and his dedication to serve the country. Ryan, congratulations. Well, and we'll let the council say a couple words if you want to. Tyler, Mr. Button.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, just an absolute, really a hero in our community already at such a young age. A role model for our kids that are coming up through the ranks. You know, I'll just say in short, you know, you obviously don't forget where you came from, and you know, you're gonna shine for Atwater, and we just look forward to seeing you continue to grow and where you're gonna end up. It's gonna be really exciting.
All I can say is, wow, it's an honor to be here standing next to someone who obviously has an awesome head on their shoulders, going the right direction. When I was your age, I was going totally the opposite direction like many other people, but it took me a little bit longer to mature. Continue the good work. Thank you for serving our country, and best of luck.
So as you guys see, this is a product of Atwater. Atwater is putting out great citizens and great military individuals. Lieutenant Benz is a true example of you focus on something, you put your head down, you work, and you see the results out there. You can achieve anything you want to achieve in the world. He couldn't do this if he had a negative attitude. A positive attitude and the ability to see where you want to go will drive any man or woman where they want to go in life, no matter what, no matter how bad things are. So everybody out there, I don't care what you're going through or what you're doing, you need to focus and see how you're going to get to the other end and see success and see happiness. And this is a great example because I've met only a few people like Lieutenant Benz here, and somebody focused and dedicated that's a true warrior and putting their lives on the line for us. You know, we have our law enforcement back here. These are our local protectors. You're our national protector. Without the military, we would not have this city council. We would not have this forum to be able to present this to you. So I'm indebted to you for your service currently. And thank you very much. Can we have your parents come up? Can we?
We're gonna let Ryan speak. Okay, Ryan, I'm not gonna tell you what to say. Your life is right there. You better thank her too.
Well, as Mr. Kale said, I obviously need to thank my wife, Mallory, and also my parents and grandparents for helping me, and also the community of Atwater. All the friends I had in school, teachers and mentors, I wouldn't be where I am today without them. So, as you said, Mr. Creighton, being indebted to me, I feel very indebted to you all as well. So, I just thank you for the opportunity to be where I am today.
Thank you for being a leader. Yeah. Can you invite your grandparents and parents up to your wife? Yeah. You guys can come join us up here? We want to hear what the formula is for success. Come on, all you guys come on up.
I have to say that I absolutely love the fact that his wife, he met in preschool. Which preschool did they go to? Oh, little, yeah. Yeah, this is Tim and Pat, and honestly, I don't know your guys' last name. Smith. Okay, that's easy. And then their parents. And if you guys would like to say a few words, that'd be great.
I just want to say how proud we are of him. I went back to his graduation. It was amazing. I couldn't be any prouder. Him and Mallory both. They stuck together all these years, even though they were apart. She was at Fresno State. He was back east. But they stayed together all this time.
We're just very proud to have him as our son and to be an example to the rest of our kids and to all of his friends and family.
Yeah, and I would echo that sentiment. It's a wonderful thing to be the father of such an accomplished boy at such a young age. I call him a boy. Come on, I'm going to get in trouble for that one. An accomplished man at such a young age. He's accomplished a great deal. I agree with the mayor that he's going to accomplish much more, and we as a family couldn't be more proud of him.
I'm just really proud and excited to continue life with him.
I'm just very proud of him and have been all his life.
Thank you guys very much. Again, the city of Atwater, the city council, our police department, our fire department, we couldn't thank you more. And there's a lot of other soldiers out there and like you, but you're ours, and we want to recognize you tonight. So we're super proud of you, and, you know, great job. So if you guys don't mind, round of applause for this wonderful young man. So we're going to take a short intermission here, and then we're going to do another ceremony right after this. But we want to take time to give you guys all the time you need to take some pictures and however you want to do it. I'd like to also, before you leave, I'd like our entire police department to come up here, and our, where's our fire chief at? He was here earlier. Yeah. And we have, Mark, what's your title? Assistant, yeah, he's a battalion assistant chief. He's a big shot, so I want him here too. And also, we have Supervisor McDaniel here, so he can maybe join us up here. But first, let's get some pictures of the family. Janelle, do you have a camera that we can get the whole group in? Yes. Okay. So we're going to take a short 5-minute recess, and then we'll begin after that. So thank you guys very much. We'll re-adjourn at 6:20. Oath of office, police officer. That I will administer the oath of office to the newly appointed police officer, David Goodwin. David, you mind coming forward? And then council, let's head back down there again. Do we have the oath? Who has the oath? We're gonna, come on down. We'll put you on the spotlight until we get the oath out here. Chief, do you have it?
No, we'll get it.
Okay.
This is, he's already gone through his official one, so.
Yep. Okay, that's all right.
Real quick. There you go.
Start with yeah, there we go.
Whichever one you want.
Okay, so while we wait for some paperwork, can you guys come up here? All your daughters come up here, and your dad, and your mom. Who's here? This whole side of the room needs to come forward. You're the boss? Okay, so I'm going to give you the microphone, and I want you to introduce your whole family, okay? And you point at each family member, and you tell me who they are, okay? All right, boss. Well, first we'd like to know who you are.
I'm Sabrina, and I'm the boss. At May.
Aunt May, and who's that?
Papa.
That's Papa. And who's on your left?
Brittany and Brianna and Maverick.
Is that everybody? Keep going.
No. Zaya, Brittany, Cherry, Daddy.
Yeah, what about me? What else do you want? Do you want to say anything special to Daddy? The boss always has to say something.
I'm the boss of you.
That's wonderful. So we're going to take a couple pictures. Glenn, you're doing that already. Do you guys have any special family pictures? We're doing this backwards because we're going to get the oath of office from the city manager's office. Do you guys want to do a group family picture first? Okay, so we're going to move out of the way. Let's do that. Let's watch the step behind you, officer. And then you guys kind of move over center so we can get the pictures of you guys. And then after the family picture, if we could have the entire group behind again, one more time, please. Glenn, do your thing. Hey guys, gals, can you guys head back up there? Behind the dais, please. And then 2 and 2 again. We'll switch it up this time. I'll go on this side with Danny. You up there? And then you two on that side. Since he's in law enforcement, should we have our city attorney back there with you guys too? Frank, why don't you get in the picture in the back over here? Come on, right over here.
He's an attorney.
Okay, Glenn, you ready? You need a chair? Perfect. He's so tall, he doesn't need a chair. Okay, Councilman Kale, do we have the oath of office out here? Chief,
Not yet, it's still coming.
okay, they don't have to type it up.
There was a special request, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
For a very, very special picture.
Right? What was the special request?
There was a special request for a special picture.
Okay, what was that? What's the special request?
Everybody's got to clear the dais except for the mayor. Everybody's got to clear the dais except for the mayor. You asked for this.
What did she ask for?
She asked, they asked for a special picture with the mayor.
Really? You want it on your tablet?
You want it on your tablet? Give me. We'll get you a picture. Yes, this was a special request from the boss. You got to own it. You tell me to do something, I got to do it. Okay? All right. I told you I was going to do it, didn't I? I do. So this is a special request. So I'm out of the way. There you go. I told you I'd take care of you.
Thank you very much. That was my honor. I've never had that request. You guys are pretty young, so that's good. Are you ready? Yes, sir. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. Raise your right hand. Do you, David Goodwin, solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true and faith allegiance to the Constitution of the United States, Constitution of the State of California, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties for which you are about to enter? I do. Congratulations. Yep.
Jerry.
We need a pinning ceremony. He specifically wants you to put the badge on. So Glenn, where you at with the camera again? Let's slow motion for a second till he gets over here. And then you turn a little bit so we can see both of you guys. There you go. Perfect. Our newest police officer, David Goodwin. Awesome. Welcome to the force.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, is there anything you want to say? Tell us a little bit about you, where you grew up, what your favorite, I don't know, I'm just messing with you. Here, go ahead and say a few words to the city of Atwater.
Okay. First, I want to thank the chief for giving me this opportunity to serve the citizens of Atwater. I was a reserve police officer here for almost 5 years. I won't say how many years ago it was, but it was a while ago. So I'm really grateful to be back here. I'm very blessed to have my family here, my 4 daughters, my grandson, my dad, and my aunt. Thank you for coming, and thank you for supporting me. Appreciate it.
Chief.
Well, I want to welcome David back to Atwater after some time in the private sector. This job's always better in the private sector, I'm sorry. But we're really excited to have him back. It'll be nice to have that mix between young and experienced, and the life experience piece is going to be something that will serve him well in his career. So we're happy to have him back, and he started on Sunday. And we hope to have him out and about this fall after 14 weeks in the FTO program. Guys, come on up. Brian, we're going to Photoshop you in here somewhere, Brian.
We should draw a picture of Brian just kind of thing.
We need a green screen.
We do.
Glenn, we need a green screen.
Is this just a group picture of the council or just police officers? Yep. Brian Raymond.
Yes.
I apologize. I forgot to include you on the microphone both times. you want to say anything?
No, it's okay.
Brian?
Congratulations to both, I guess.
Okay. He did. Yeah. Consent calendar.
Background information has been provided on all matters listed under the consent calendar, and these items are considered to be routine. All items under the consent calendar are normally approved by one motion. If discussion is requested on any item, that item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate action.
Okay. Are there any items on the consent calendar that the council would like to remove for separate discussion or possible action?
Motion to approve the consent calendar is posted.
I'll second.
Motion by Raymond, second by Kale.
Button,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Creighton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 9, resolution adopting 2021-2022 fiscal budget, including the 5-year capital improvement plan and approving fund expenditures and fund transfers, establishing appropriations limitations, and amending classification plan, and approving salary schedule A-22 effective June 24th, 2021. City Manager Waterman and Finance Director Hunter.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. Submitted for your review tonight is, and consideration is the proposed operating budget for the City of Atwater for fiscal year 21-22. 2021 budget was in the midst of COVID pandemic where the uncertainty of the financial impacts was unknown, but staff took a very conservative approach under City Council direction, and I'm pleased to report that the City of Atwater fared better than most of some agencies, and because of this conservative approach in estimating our revenue estimates. Budget for fiscal year 21-22 continues the multi-fiscal year solvency program implemented as part of the City Council's strategic plan adopted by the City Council. This year's budget included the retirement, includes the retirement of all general fund and outstanding debt to the sewer obligations, as well as the general fund paying off the outstanding loan obligation 8 years earlier than the scheduled payment plan. It also includes the City Council's, or represents the City Council's policy of setting aside a 10% reserve, and is much better than the 10%. It actually ends up to be a 12% reserve through, I want to thank staff, our department directors, our finance director, our deputy city manager, and the council direction. This is a very well put together budget and continues the council direction on the right path. So I'll turn that over to Finance Director Hunter.
Do you want to open the public comment first? So let's go ahead and open the public comment. Right. So let me open this up to public hearing first. Staff's recommendation, open the public hearing and receive any testimony given regarding the proposed 2021 and 2022 year budget. So this time we're open up to the public. Do we have any speaker cards or anybody like to comment on it?
No, Mayor, I do not.
Do we have any members of the audience that would like to come forward this time to discuss anything on the budget? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Bring it back to Finance Director Kelly.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. This evening, I have a PowerPoint that we'll go through, and it is highlights of the 21-22 budget. And if at any time you guys have a question, please feel free to stop and ask, and then obviously at the end you'll have an opportunity. So, oh, I need my little
clicker.
Sorry.
Thank you, Glenn.
Top one. Right. Okay, so we'll begin tonight with just an overview of the entire citywide proposed budget for fiscal year 21-22. So this is all funds, general governmental funds, enterprise funds, internal service, agency funds, any of our funds. We are proposing 54.14 million of revenues and transfers in, and asking for appropriations or expenditures and transfers out of 65.81 million. The capital improvement program, the total of all projects for fiscal year 21-22, which is in the detailed in the 5-year capital improvement program near the end of the budget document, is 15.8 million. So when we take out the capital improvement, the one-time program projects, we're looking at net expenditures and transfers out of just slightly over 50 million. Looking at the breakdown of the budget by major fund categories, I'm going to talk a lot tonight about the general fund, which, as we know, is where our general governmental services are budgeted, our public safety, including police, fire, our other general government operations, including finance, parks, rec, and all the other general government areas. So we're looking at revenue and transfers in of 16.83 million and expenditures and transfers out of 17.28 million. So that does have the expense over revenue at about 450,000. Underneath there, at near the bottom of the slide, one important thing for us to remember is, as the city manager Waterman stated, when we developed the fiscal year 2021 budget, which is the budget we're currently in, that's going to end in 17 days. Or 16 days. Sorry, we'll end another fiscal year. When we developed that and put that together, we were not sure of the impacts of COVID-19, and so we were very conservative with our revenue estimates and our appropriation requests. Good news is that Atwater fared very well during COVID-19. We did have some sectors of our major revenue that suffered, but other sectors picked it up. So we were actually able to achieve growth during COVID-19. So we are looking at a projected general fund balance in about 16 days of 2,664,000 and some change. So with the proposed budget that we're bringing forth to council tonight from the general fund, if we look at revenues that are coming in and the expenditures going out, we will still have a projected at the end of fiscal year. That's a big typo there. 6/30/22. The estimated year end would be 2,214,000 and some change. So I apologize for that. So that's what we were looking at with this proposed budget, which represents, as City Manager Waterman said, that actually represents a 12% general fund reserve. Council's current target and is 10%. Here's a general fund balance history. As you can see, for many, many years, unfortunately, the City of Atwater's general fund operated in a negative fund balance, and this will be the third consecutive fiscal year that it's actually having a positive fund balance and including the reserve, achieving the reserve that council set forth starting in 2019. Which I just said that, Third consecutive year with positive fund balance. And as City Manager Waterman said, the general fund paid off any outstanding loan obligations in this current fiscal year that we're getting ready to end. We paid, through council's direction, we were able to retire the debt early to the Wastewater Fund 8 years earlier than the amortization schedule So that's an extremely positive step forward. So the general fund will not have to, in the next 8 years, they will not have to budget that loan payment as it's been paid in full, and we save the interest over the next 8 years. And as stated, the 2.2 million represents about 12% of the general fund reserve. Here's just a snapshot of how we ended the audited 1920. The general fund had 2.8 million in fund balance. That's everything, assigned and unassigned, both reserve and unassigned. Where the amended budget for fiscal year 2021, when the council amended the budget in March, or February, sorry, we were anticipating 2.3 and at the end of 6/30/21. But based on our revenue and our expenditure projections through the end of this fiscal year, that's getting ready to end in 2 weeks, we're actually going to end about 2.6 million. And then with the proposed budget that's presented tonight for council, as stated, it would be 2.2 million at at the end of 6/30/21 or 22. Once again, typo of the fiscal year, sorry. The council established the general fund reserve. It is part of the City of Atwater's 2020 through 25 strategic plan. Goal number 1, ensure financial solvency. 1.1A says set aside funds to achieve 10% of the general fund in reserves. So the council in a short period of time, in 2 years, has actually was less than that because they achieved it last year. So within 1 year, they were actually able to achieve their goal of the 10%. Also, there was the resolution 3068-19. It was adopted March 25th of 19 by council, which says that it is a minimum target level of the 10%. So, as was stated earlier, this budget, proposed budget before the council tonight, proposes the 3rd consecutive year of a positive general fund balance and the 2nd consecutive year of achieving a 10% general fund reserve. And note, as we said, this hasn't happened for years and years. And this will show you that going back 10 years, that red's not good. That was all the deficit years of the general fund having a negative fund balance. And then as you can see, starting in fiscal year 1920, not only is there the 10% reserve, but there's actually an unassigned reserve over and above the 10%. So very positive trend that is continuing. The personnel summary part of the budget is, and this is citywide, the budget includes 97 full-time equivalent positions being funded. It includes 18 new positions, 2 which were added at mid-year, and then 16 additional new positions. So we are seeing an expansion of our services, which is something the city has not been able to do for many, many years due to the deficit fund balance. But public safety will see an increase of 4 positions in this proposed budget, so the council adopted. Street and park maintenance will see 5 positions, and community development 2.5, and then the other positions are spread out through citywide. And if you look at the detailed personnel allocation schedule that's near the front of the budget, you'll be able to pick up exactly where those other positions are. Also, another positive trend is the proposed salary schedule 822 reflects a scheduled 3% cost of living adjustment, which has not, for the employees, which they have not had a cost of living adjustment for years.
Kelly, can I jump in real quick?
Yes.
Our OPED?
OPEB, yes.
Can you talk about that?
Yes. So the city, other pension employee benefits when employees retire from the city, if they're vested employees and they retire, the city provides the retirees certain other pension benefits. This is the third year in which the council's provided funding in the budget and continues towards the unfunded OPEB liability to reduce that in the future. So it's a very positive step.
So that means that we're guaranteeing that they have their retirement, so there's no question in the future. As we keep funding that, that's shoring that up.
For the other pension employee benefits, that is correct. Plus, there is also a portion of that goes for the CalPERS, which is the regular retirement. So the council 3 years ago set up a separate investment fund to help fund those, as I call them, unfunded liabilities, because they are liabilities to the city in the future. So the city is working towards closing that gap. So it's a very, very positive step to take. Did that help?
Perfect.
Okay.
If I can just make a note too, last year when the city fair had a little unassigned funds, we actually paid an additional payment as well as the assigned payments that we had scheduled.
That is absolutely correct. During mid-year, council approved that. So another very positive step towards helping relieve future unfunded liabilities from the city in the future, planning for the future. Here's just the bar chart that has the personal summary. This is included in the budget also near the beginning of the document. And the entire budget is online. Right now it's in the agenda packet. Should council approve it tonight, it'll be finalized, and then the final budget document with all the attachments and appendixes will be available probably in about a week. But if they approve it as is tonight, it is what you see out there in the agenda packet. I believe it's 140 something pages. Here is the general fund summary. So this is the revenue summary by major revenue category. And we have the audited amounts for 1920, which the council approved the audited financial statements back in February. And then you can see the amended budget that council approved. Actually, I updated it through March 5th when we started working on the budget. And then the proposed, which is the 21-22, the budget tonight, you can see by the major revenue category for the general fund, and you can see the total. So we're anticipating $16,830,000 and some change in fiscal year 21-22 for the general fund revenues. On the good news, things that are going on for the City of Atwater and the revenue is, as we stated, the City of Atwater continues to experience growth in the major revenue sectors, especially in property tax and sales and use tax. We continue to see growth even during COVID-19, which we were fortunate, and that's just the makeup of our local economy. There were some sectors of our economy that suffered, but we are seeing those numbers and we are seeing them recover from those impacts, and we plan and hope to see that they'll continue to recover over the next 6 months. Here's some pie charts showing now this is the projected 2021, so where we're going to end in 16 days. This is our best guess on the general fund revenue, $15,690,000, and then the proposed budget before you is the 16.8, and you can see it broke down by the same major revenue categories. As we talked briefly, the general fund, the appropriation requests include funding to increase service levels across the general fund, especially in the areas of public safety, which equates to 4 positions in the Streets and Parks Maintenance Department, which is 5 positions, sorry. It reinstates funding to the Recreation and Community Events Department as COVID-19 restrictions are being lifted. So that's a real positive thing to get the parks and the recreation, especially the community events, back out there, not only for the the children in the community, but for the adults. So you'll see that this budget does include those, and as the restrictions are lifted, we're planning to be able to expand those. Few years, and as stated before, it provides the employees with a cost of living adjustment. So these are all positive steps that we're taking in the fiscal year 21-22 budget. And so here is the expenditure summary for the general fund by department. And once again, it has the audited 1920 numbers by department, the amended budget as of March 5th for fiscal year 2021, which is the fiscal year is getting ready to end, and then what we're proposing in the 21-22. So you can see the numbers there by department. So this 21-22 budget estimate is requesting $17,280,000 in appropriation in the general fund. And there's the pie charts to reflect that. Now, once again, I did the pie chart on the left as they projected, where we're projecting to end this fiscal year 2021 in 16 days. So, and then what the proposed 21-22 budget has. We do have other funds in besides the general fund that have public safety dollars in them. One of them is the our Fund 0004, which is the Public Safety Transactions and Use Tax. It was approved by voters in March of 2013 and provides a 0.5 cent sales and use tax surcharge. Currently, that current tax measure is slated to end in 2023. The city, over the years, they have utilized it within the guidelines of the tax measure. This is the, and I'm sorry it's small, but it is in the budget. If you look online, and it has its whole page. This is the Public Safety Tax Expenditure Summary that was approved by the Public Safety Oversight Board for the use of, it shows what 2021, which that's what we're currently finishing, what's in the budget for 21-22, the middle column, and then there is a an anticipated for 22-23 of how the for that final fiscal year, how that revenue will be spent, and then that will be brought back next year. And once the oversight board, once it's final, once we prepare the budget for 22-23, so. We also have our Community Facilities District, which is our Fund 50/50, and it has funds for police field operations, and it currently, the revenues from the Community Facilities District currently fund the salary and benefits for 3 positions in the police field operations. That's 1 police sergeant and 2 police officers. So huge benefit to the community and the service levels. So it brings in almost $600,000 a year in revenue currently, and we use it. What is collected, we use towards the frontline operations of the police department, just as it was adopted. Some of our other big funds that the city has are our enterprise funds. So we have our water, wastewater, and our sanitation enterprise fund. And pretty self-explanatory. The water enterprise funds is the domestic water system of the city. The wastewater is the sewer treatment, and obviously the transmission and everything of all these systems too, the distribution, the collection, the transmission. And then our sanitation enterprise fund is for the garbage pickup. We do have an independent contractor that we franchise with, Republic Services. And they're part of, we do the billing and collect, and but it is an enterprise fund that we have. So our water enterprise fund, what we have going on, or what is in the proposed 2021 budget, is in the water capital replacement fund. We have some big projects that are coming up or gonna be started. We are asking for an appropriation of 2.8 for the rehabilitation of well 20A And I am not sure, I'm sorry, if that's the total cost or if that's just the total cost to rehabilitate that well, or if it's a multi-year project. I apologize, I don't know that, but I'm sure I could get that answer. The city has had a multi-year project going with the installation of water meters. So we are required to install water meters by, I believe it's 2025. And so the city has been in that process for years, and this budget does include another $700,000 for the installation of those water meters so that we will be complying with the state laws. It also includes an appropriation for the painting of the water tower, $1.15 million, which that has been approved by council, and then it is in this budget to be completed in fiscal year 21-22. And then, of course, our big project, which if you drive around town and you see all the lovely beige tanks, it is our TCP remediation project that continues, and so that currently 28 million is been appropriated of the 43 million. So that is a long ongoing project, but the 28 million will continue in 21-22. So as you drive around town and you see those beige above ground, there's some pictures of them over there, that's what's going on. Our wastewater fund, or the sewer fund, it has no big projects as the sewer treatment facility was built a few years ago, which is a huge project. So it does contain the debt service of the wastewater refunding bonds, series 2017A and 2018A, and of course all the appropriations for the operations of the wastewater distribution and collection system. So. And then in sanitation, we are currently underway with a sanitation rate study, and that will be brought back to council upon completion. I think it still has a few more months before it's completed, and that will be brought back. And on the good note, the sanitation fund in the fiscal year 21-22 budget is making its final payment on the loan they had a loan from the Wastewater Enterprise Fund. So that is a positive thing. This will be their final payment, and then they will be debt free. This is a summary of all the city's funds. So this is the first half of the page, and then, sorry, there's the second half. So I'm sorry it's small, but if you go through the budget that is online on the city's website and in the agenda packet, you'll be able to tie back. This is just a summary, and then you'll be able to go to the detail of each of these funds. We did talk quite a bit about the general fund. We talked about the other public safety funding sources that we have in the city and our major enterprise funds. Most of the other funds are transportation-related funds. They call them special revenue funds. The revenues received are special and assigned to projects. We also have impact fee funds, which are collected from developers for their impact on the city. But we talked about all the funds that have an operating budget tonight. And then finally, we have our 5-year capital improvement program. And by fund, we talked about the enterprise funds, the things that had their capital improvement projects. And this will also detail, we have a general fund, capital fund 003, where we have a lot of our transportation related projects that are budgeted in there. So with that concludes my, oops, sorry, went backwards. That concludes the PowerPoint. I'm happy to answer any questions. I know that's a lot of information in a very short period of time. As the city manager said, the city staff, everybody contributed to this. We worked really hard on it the last 3 months. It's a good budget. It's a sustainable budget for the city of Atwater. It increases service levels, but also meets the council's reserve requirements. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, and the department heads are all here if you have any questions particular to their operating budgets.
Okay, first I want to say thank you to the city council. Good work. They've been hands-on this entire process over the years, and currently I've seen they've all reviewed the budget with the city manager and asked a lot of good questions and had great input. So this budget is heavily inputted by our city council and direction, and we continue to move forward with that. When we came on, this council started several years ago with Brian Raymond was the oldest council member on here, and he was championed when he was on previous to our engagement up here, fiscal responsibility and transparency in government. And then we were joined, myself and Cindy Vieira and Councilman Ambrose and Kale and Councilman Button, and we continue to do that today. So it's forever. We need to continue this as everybody comes and goes. This project to make Atwater great is very important that you have these things so that we can go back into the parks and we can add more police officers and fire and other things and make it a safer community for everybody to enjoy, because in a safe, clean, healthy community, everybody prospers. So, Councilman Raymond, do you have anything you'd like to ask or contribute?
I just have a couple of questions. One, I noticed in the budget that we're looking at adding a police lieutenant. And my only real question to that is, with funding that position, if we get the COPS grant approved, is there still going to be revenue to cover that? Because, I mean, I know we do need a number 2, but we also need bodies on the street for that.
City Manager Waterman, can you answer that?
I can, thank you. So the lieutenant position is budgeted as the budget currently is presented in front of you. We have applied for the COPS grant, hiring grant. Should we receive that, our match will be, is available through unassigned funding right now, plus it won't be towards the end, so we can allocate monies next year. But this is, we've been adding items that to continue to incorporate council's goals, and this is in line with your succession planning, the lieutenant position.
Councilman Raymond?
Yes, and then, so I know the fire department also needs bodies, and I'm actually pleased to see that we've gotten Measure H to, close to a 50-50, it's 60-40. That's always good to see. But in talking to people at the fire department, I know, that they need bodies as well, but they also understand the cash restraints. Would looking at like the SAFER grant, much like the COPS grant, is that an option?
City Manager Waterman?
Definitely, we would be happy to do that.
Okay, because I would like to see that looked into as well, because we do need some bodies there. And then I just want to, thank you, Mayor Creighton, for the kind words. Reaching a budget like this has taken a lot of hard work and a lot of teamwork from council and staff. So just thank you to everybody involved.
Councilman Ambrose?
I don't have any questions, but I just want to say thank you to the staff for the hard work. I'm happy to see that of the 18 new positions, with 16 of them starting at the beginning of the fiscal year. Tonight is definitely one of those nights that we need to celebrate how we're out of debt, our budget's balanced, but we can't celebrate too hard because unfortunately we know one of our tax revenue is going to be ending here soon, so we definitely got to keep that in mind and how that's going to affect us going forward.
Councilman Kale?
I agree with both Councilman Raymond and Councilman Ambrose on what you guys say. Thank you guys for your hard work. I have a statement later to thank you again, but our half-cent sales tax for safety sales tax ends in 2 years, and that's in March then. If I'm reading this correctly, will it end in March? Is it June? June? Okay, it's in June. So we need to take a look at what we're going to do come June 23, because we're losing a huge chunk of our income. So we need to take a look at what we need to do. And I know that this council is up to a good solution to find. So let's do it.
Thank you. Councilman Button.
Yeah, Measure H, we definitely, that's gonna be big. I couldn't agree more. And I want to thank this current council that I work with here, the previous council that's been working on this before I was here. You know, I appreciate the kind words from the mayor. I can't take being here for about 5 months, but the staff and the council, you know, that are current and before me have just really done a great job and served the city really well and set us up in a position to serve the city really well in the future. So, and that's really what this is all about, is if we can be controlling the budget, then we can support the people that pay taxes in this community. We can help them more. And that's ultimately what this is all about. So I just feel great about that. I want to thank the staff for being really available. And when we met, you know, the presentations were really clear and easy to get through, and I appreciate that. So, yeah.
Thank you. I too thank you, but I want to thank the citizens of Atwater for your clear direction to us as your representatives up here to implement what you guys want and how you want the city to be, and we're listening, and we're going to continue to listen as long as I'm here, as long as this council's here. I think the city of Atwater, the residents have clear focus what they want and how they want it, and you guys see we're adding some positions to mow the grass, to keep things nicer, to add recreation programs for our seniors and our young kids. We're doing things that we were told that couldn't be done in 20 years from now. So it's really refreshing to be in a position to be able to bring the old Atwater back again, previous base closing, and we're looking at healthy times in the future. And I think the mindset of this council is responsibility with your guys' money, and we're really proud to show the residents of Atwater that that you can give us money, and we can make sure that we do it the way you guys want it, and then also have paid all the debt off 8 years early, our unfunded liabilities for our retirement for our employees who work for us, make sure we have a commitment back to them so that we get 100% out of them every day, that they know they come and work for us, that we're not going to short them on the other end of retirement. That's a big deal. And our police and fire, we're constantly adding positions. I think that we could continue to add, you know, bodies on the ground for the fire department. We got new fire truck. Councilman Kale and I got to take for a ride. That was pretty cool. And we're always open here in the city of Atwater, whether you want to come walk through your city hall or your police station or one of your fire stations or whatever you want to do. This is still the city of Atwater residents' house, and it's always open to you guys. So I want to make sure everybody knows that, and we continue that policy. And our city staff, we're paying them well, and they're doing a great job. We have professionals, and things are going good for Atwater, and I'm really excited to see what next year brings, and I think we can crush those numbers again. We did what they said couldn't be done during COVID. We did it safe, and we did it great. So that's back to the residents. You know, Atwater's growing, and we've added 30 plus businesses. We have recreation programs ready to kick off. We have, you know, access for you guys to see what we're doing, how we're doing it, and what we're actually spending money on. So looking for direction from the council. And I also want to thank, as Councilman Button said, Councilwoman Cindy Vieira. She's no longer here. She's retired off the council, but her and Councilman Raymond were our budget hawks. I think the city manager will testify to that we tightened our belt and we kept it tight, and with some of that influence from both Councilman Raymond and Councilwoman Vieira, that we're where we're at today because we listened. So good job, everyone, and looking for direction from the council. Raymond? Brian, I think this is, we're hinting that you do something here.
Motion to approve the items presented.
I'll second.
Motion by Raymond, second by Kale.
Jambries?
Yes.
Kale?
Yes.
Button?
Yeah. Yes.
Raymond?
Yes.
Creighton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 10, city manager reports and updates. Employment agreement, finance director, city manager Warren.
Thank you, Mayor. So before you tonight is an agreement for finance director position, which is a very key management position in the operation of the city business, as we saw today, on how important that role is. We hired Kelly Jacobs Hunter, and her contract, and we were very fortunate to get her and bring her on board to the team and to help get us where we are today. Her contract will expire in October of 2022, but in January, she advised us of her intent to retire in May of 2022. So this contract before you, we began recruitment for a new finance director, and the preferred candidate, after going through vigorous employment obligations, we offered Delilah Yamara a conditional employment offer, and her anticipated start date is June 24th, 2021. And before you is her contract. We will be bringing Kelly Jacobs Hunter contract back to the council to amend it. She has expressed that she would like to start reducing some hours, but it would still give our new finance director the opportunity to mentor and train underneath her. And we also have Delilah here with us tonight to introduce you to the council and to the public.
Excellent. Do you want to?
This is Delilah. You want to come up to the podium and introduce yourself to the council and the mayor?
Hello, Mayor and City Council members. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. And I'm looking forward to working with the city and working with Kelly and getting all the knowledge I can, as much as I can, out of her while I have her. And I'm excited to contribute. I've been working in Atwater for about 2 years, and I love the city. I love the people. So I'm excited I got to stay here and continue to work here. So I'm looking forward to it.
Wow, welcome. And we have high expectations because Kelly helped come in, and anybody that's picked up our budget, our biggest complaint in the previous years was they couldn't understand it, and I think it couldn't have been more clearly presented and written than what you have right here. And Kelly, that's off to you right there. That's a big contribution you did, and I love working with Kelly. She's really easy to talk to and understand how the budget process works. So she puts it in terms that everybody can understand, like you were saying. And we expect great things, and we're glad that you're joining us, and we're glad that we get to keep Kelly for quite a while longer, hopefully, and we get some really nice products put out. So
Delilah has a great opportunity in front of her with the mentoring of Kelly, so we do appreciate that and thank Kelly for that.
yeah, and we're glad you chose us as a Super Bowl team to join. So we're going to keep winning.
Thank you. Same here.
Thank you. Welcome. Does council, you guys want to say anything to her? Button?
Hey, welcome, and I think Kelly's again. Thanks, Kelly, for sticking around, and we're looking forward to having you on. So,
Councilman Raymond?
Welcome, and I think Kelly's a great mentor, so you're going to be able to learn a lot.
Ambries?
Welcome aboard.
Kale?
Welcome. You have huge shoes to fill. Even though Kelly doesn't have big feet, they're still huge. Does that make you a clown? No, that's not. No, but welcome aboard, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, why don't you grab your purse and go join those guys over at that table, and then we're going to open up for public comment at this time. Do we have any comment cards or anybody from the public like to come forward?
Mayor, we do not.
Anybody from the public? Welcome. Please state your name for the record.
Good evening, Gabriel Santos. I just have a question. I did have one question on the budget. Are we able to pull back up to slide number 9?
We already had the public comment on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a previous item.
Unfortunately, I was watching it and I wasn't able to get down here.
You can get with us after the meeting, and we can get whatever you need.
No problem. I'll just pose the question as it is.
Also, public comment period would be a perfect time to, if you just wait a couple minutes.
Okay.
You can come back, and then we can get what you want, and then we can answer that after the meeting.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public like to come forward at this time for this item? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment. Bring it back to council for direction. Yes, it does.
And I'll make a motion to ratify Finance Director employment agreement for Ms. Hunter, Jacob Hunter.
Second?
Okay, motion by Kale, second by Button.
I'm sorry, I think we need to clarify that motion. It's going to be for Delilah Yomera.
Yes.
It is Delilah. Ratify the Finance Director employment
Can you read
agreement.
the motion?
Okay.
Item 10.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to ratify Finance Director employment agreement in the form of approved by the city attorney with Delilah Marie. Yeah, okay, sorry. I'll learn it. And authorize and direct the city manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the city.
Seconded by Button.
Second, yep.
Button,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Raymond,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Creighton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Comments from the public.
At this time, any person may comment on any item which is not on the agenda. You may state your name and address for the record, however, it is not required. Action will not be taken on an item that is not on the agenda. If it requires action, it will be referred to staff and are placed on a future agenda. Please limit comments to a maximum of 3 minutes.
Okay. Gabe, so we got a technicality here. So it's comments that were not on the agenda, but you missed that part. So if you don't mind, we're almost done and we'll hold you over, then staff will talk to you directly. Sorry about that. Do we have any speaker cards?
Mayor, we do not have any speaker cards.
Do we have any members of the public like to come forward at this time? Please state your name for the record. Welcome.
Meeting night. I'd like to thank the staff and,
Is that speaker on?
I don't know,
Can you push it?
it says on. Don't trip over yourself. It says on.
Yep, there you go.
I'd just like to thank the staff and the city council and the prior city council for doing an excellent job on this budget. You know, I can remember back when we were about bankrupt here. We've come a long way in a few short years. And Kelly, you haven't been here long enough to retire, girl. Sorry to see you leaving.
I was at Merced County with you
I
for
know.
17 years.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Do we have any other members of the public come forward at this time? Please state your name for the record. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Maximilian Eddie Vargas. I'm the owner of Big Dog Towing. I'm here to just show my love and support for the mayor on the incident that you all know has been going on. I'm also here representing the Hispanic community. I have a lot of Hispanic people that stand behind me. There's no sense in bringing them right now and filling this place up. But we're just right here to let the council and let the mayor know that we love y'all and that we'll support you all the way. And if there's any other issues, we're going to be here fighting for you. And we hope that things are getting all ironed out. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public that come forward at this time? Seeing none, we'll wait one more. Welcome. Please state your name for the record.
My name is Jim Davis, and I have a question for the council, and that is, does the police department still have the right to give civil standbys?
We'll note what you're saying, then we'll get back to you.
Excuse me?
We'll note whatever your questions are, then we'll get back to you after the meeting.
That's one of them.
Okay.
Now, the reason is I have a rental, and we're having problems getting this person out. They refuse to go, and they had a 120-day notice. They still don't want to go. Not that I blame them, but we have to have somewhere to live. And I've been reading that our city managers have had problems, basically the same, and she seems to have a problem in the civil standby. And from what I know about the police department, they've always had civil standbys. And if that's still so, I want to know, do the standby person have to have a certain rank or a position in the police department to stand by? Because if I need one, which I may, I want to know what to ask for.
Okay?
Do we have to?
Well, we'll answer that after the meeting. We can't go back and forth.
Okay. Yes, I just want to know. And if it's still legal to have civil standbys, then I like to see our council to stand with our city manager. Don't throw her under the bus. Because I'm a taxpayer as well. I pay a lot of taxes. And I would like to use our department. And I would like to use the chief if possible. But anyway, I'm just concerned about that. And I think it's, we should be able to use our department. And we shouldn't have to be sued to use our civil rights.
Thank you. Any other members of the public like to come forward at this time? No speaker cards? No. Thank you. We'll close public comment and adjourn the meeting. Wait, we're going to do the council matters. Got a little bit. Heads up. Thank you. Councilman Raymond. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just comments for now, and then you know what to do at the end.
I really don't have too much to say tonight. Thank you to everybody for all their hard work and support. And, Father's Day is right around the corner. And just remember to love on your fathers because, some of us don't have them here anymore.
Thank you. Kale.
I would like to commend the total Atwater City staff on our current budget. Now our current budget. You can take a deep breath, Finance Director. And I would like to really thank you, Kelly, and your whole staff, Patty, and everybody in there. And I would like to thank all the department heads on their due diligence in getting there each department. We appreciate your hard work. I'd like to thank the city manager for making sure that we all understand what was in the budget and for pushing our agenda forward. You guys all did a great job. And for those of you who weren't aware, and are getting here, this is the third budget, third consecutive fiscal year of the general fund having a positive balance. And that is amazing, especially in these pandemic times. I'd like to also praise this council for always looking at the expenses of the cities and making sure that it is in the budget and it meets it and not spending money that we don't have. And that's important. And somebody asked me the other day, why don't we do this? And I said, I'm sorry, we don't have the money. I said, can you contribute to it if you want it done that bad? And they were like, well, I don't have the money either. I said, then you understand our plight. And so I give you guys great gratitude in making this whole budget work. And this budget really epitomizes the City of Atwater's mission statement. I wrote this down to make sure. Is to provide a viable and sustained high quantity of public services to the community through each employee using their maximum. You guys use your maximum. Department heads, you use your maximum capabilities, and that is a true sign of positive progress. And then I brought my own slide presentation. You probably should have let me be last. I want to congratulate Atwater High School and Buhat Colony High School sports teams this year. I'd like to recognize these teams who have had shortened seasons and have run their Central California Conference. 2 years ago, we had teams that run their conferences up there, and these are some of the teams that run their conferences. The girls track and field are CCC champions of Atwater High School. The boys water polo team are also CCC champions. The girls wrestling team are undefeated in 5 league seasons, and they're CCC champions. The boys basketball team are CCC champions from Atwater High School, along with the girls. They're CCC champions also. And the girls' tennis team is also CCC champions. I got these pictures from the website. Buhack Colony didn't have enough pictures for me to choose from, so at Buhack Colony, the boys got an undefeated season and were CCC champions. And so are the cross country, they are CCC champions, and the girls' tennis are also champions. So I have to say congratulations to all the graduating seniors together as a whole. I was extremely excited to see them be able to receive their diploma in person if they wished. And then also the high school juniors who are going to high school next year, or the junior high school kids who are going to high school, and that's my granddaughter Zoe. Good luck in high school, hon. I know you're going to do great. Thank you. That's all I have.
Councilman Button?
Just again, I want to welcome Officer Goodwin, and it's really great to see his family here. I think it's awesome to see. I think it's just important for people to see. Behind the badge is a family. That's waiting for him to come home. So, and that goes for our fire department as well. And then Army Second Lieutenant Ryan Timothy Benz, just a fantastic young man. He'll do more. He's done more in his first 22, 23 years, I think, than I'll ever do, if I could ever try. So, and I just wanted to, I scrambled my notes here, but the Open Cockpit Day was a few weeks ago over at the Air Museum, and Councilman Kale was out there. I don't know, I think you guys were all out there, and I've been to a few of them, and this one was just amazing. There was a line of people to get inside when I showed up at 9:15, and there was still a line of people to get inside at like 12:30, 1 o'clock. There were still people in line to get in. It just felt like America. It just felt great. People, getting some shaved ice, going inside the planes. It just felt like a really good time. It felt like a preview of what 4th of July is going to feel like in Atwater. It's just gonna feel like we have some freedom. So I really encourage everybody, please try to go to the next Open Cockpit Day, October 2nd. It's just a great time, an amazing community event. And and then Measure H, people, we gotta start thinking about it. If you got questions about what Measure H is, what it's taxing you on, some people talk to me, and when I talk to people in the community, some people are a little bit confused on what exactly is getting taxed. So, ask questions, and because we're gonna need something the same, or at least like that, come 2023. So, the budget, I'm still looking for. I think it's a typo. I thought the city council we got paid, but apparently that's not in the budget. So I thought that was in there.
That's a good one.
I
think so I get 300 grand a year?
Yeah, so that was the only question I had. I forgot to ask that. I thought this was a paid position. Yeah, no, thank you guys, the staff, the council, one last time for the hard work. And you know, the last thing is, you know, we live in a time right now where printing money is a popular thing. It seems to be a way to gain popularity. We don't have a printing machine in the back yet. I don't think we have one. When we get one, we'll start printing as soon as we can. That's a joke. But in all seriousness, you know, we value your money, the hard money that you guys pay taxes on. And, you know, somebody might perceive it as like, well, let's spend that money. You guys got a reserve. Like, let's get out there and let's start spending money on stuff. I mean, we want to spend money on things. Of course we do. But we ultimately respect and want to honor your money and where it needs to go. So we're gaining personnel and services, and we're going to continue to do that. But I think it's been the respect out of the taxpayer is one of the main reasons why we're in a good position. So that's all, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Councilman Ambry?
Again, want to tip my hat to our staff. Wonderful job, as everyone else has already been telling you, on the budget, and just for making sure that we're spending only what we need to spend. City Manager, I would like to request that at the next time we do a budget reading that we don't have our department heads to the side there. That kind of gives me bad flashbacks of previous years, and I think they need to come out of the shadows and probably actually be in the front row over here, not pushed to the side. I also, our future is looking very well. Just look at all everything that our youth is doing right now. Councilman Kell here just showed us all of our sports champions from both high schools. We have a young man with Army Second Lieutenant Benz doing wonderful things. The future is just so bright for our youth here, which is also a good leeway to our youth drop-in program. If you guys aren't aware, the summer drop-in program is free this year. It's going to be at the Veterans Park Youth Center. Phone number to call is 209-357-6320. As a parent, I highly recommend the drop-in program. My daughter went for years. Unfortunately, she aged out this year, and my son is just a little too young to attend. But definitely look into it. It's definitely a program where kids can definitely get together and practice their social skills as well as have some fun and education as well. And I'll turn it back to you, Mayor.
Thank you. I'll make my comments, and then Councilman Raymond will close the meeting tonight. Supervisor McDaniel, sorry to hear the passing of your mother. Hearts out to you. Also, happy Flag Day to everyone. And I have something happy to announce. If you are an Air Force fan of the military band, an 80-piece ensemble will be here July 4th next to the Rotary Rib Shack in the grass area at the Bloss Hospital to perform. The City of Merced reached out to me, the city manager and mayor, and gave me some contact information. I reached out to the Air Force, and our recreation director Billings over here closed the deal for me by reaching back out to the band, and they will be here to perform their second ever outdoor event in 15 months. So it'll be first Merced on the 3rd, then Atwater on the 4th of July, the day of. They will be here to perform, an 80-piece band set up in the grass area for everybody to see. It's a free event. Please tell your friends and family, bring a chair. We're going to close the road off there so that we can sit in a hard area, right? Is that what we're doing, Chief? So that's going to be really awesome. That's going to be a plus for Atwater, keeping it in downtown area so everybody can see a walking distance. We're going to have food and entertainment for the 4th of July. Castle Air Museum, I think what Councilman Button was saying was understated. The people I've seen as far away as the West Coast was City of San Francisco, someone from San Diego that came up, one of their fathers flew one of the old planes, or grandfather flew one of the old planes. We had vets, both Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, walking around admiring all the equipment and the airplanes. It's a world-class military plane museum, and the only one I know of on the entire West Coast that's dedicated to the military. It doesn't have civilian planes in there. It's all military, and it's on a former military Air Force base, which makes it even that much sweeter. And the board, you never hear thanks go out to the board of directors at the Castle Air Museum, but I know that every one of them, they work tirelessly out there, along with the staff and the maintenance, the people that take care of the grounds, and you see a lot of new things this year with the hardscapes around the airplanes instead of the old lava rock. They're kind of going a different direction to make it more, you touch it once and leave it, and then they can work on more things and fix more aircraft and make the static display that much more beautiful for all of us. There are plans in the future, short near future, to have events underneath the wingtips of the B-52. We were doing that pre-COVID, so we're going to continue to do that out there. Lieutenant Benz, I can't say enough. That's just our youth in Atwater. What you can achieve if you set your mind to it. Perfect example, and he's on a trajectory of goodness. And Officer Goodwin, welcome back. Thank you for coming and joining our team. When they're coming back, after they left, they come back, they know that's a good team. We've got new talent coming in here. We've got some of the more senior talent teaching the new people. This is a great mix for good things for Atwater for years to come, and this council and the citizens of Atwater. So really proud to be your mayor. I'm just keeping the seat warm while you guys are giving barking orders to us, and we're trying to be good stewards of your money. Tonight, Councilman Raymond will close our meeting in honor of Supervisor McDaniel's mother. So Councilman Raymond, if you don't mind.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So this is very bittersweet for me. A few years ago, Supervisor McDaniel was able to do the same thing for my father. And so it's, like I said, bittersweet to be able to return the favor, unfortunately. With that said, Meredith Maybelle McDaniel was born February 15th, 1946 to Sylvester and Hilda Stein in Pinckneyville, Illinois. Meredith Maybelle McDaniel passed away Wednesday, June 9th, 2021. As a child, she was raised in Pinckneyville, Illinois, where she graduated from Pinckneyville Community High School. And a few years later, she moved to Altamont, Illinois. And in 1981, she moved to Merced, California with Color Press, where she worked in human resources. Seeing a niche in the industry and an entrepreneurial drive, she was the co-founder of Health Tech, where she contracted with industry to perform pre-employment physicals. After she sold her business, she joined the Central Valley Coalition for Affordable Housing, where she worked to her last day. What the note Supervisor McDaniel, which I'm just going to call him Darren, doesn't say is that she moved to Atwater about, let's say, 6 years ago. I know that because I helped to move her in, and she was a joy to be around. So Meredith was a terrific home decorator, artist, and gardener, where many people had the opportunity to tap into her many talents. She always had an infectious smile and always carried herself with style and grace. She never had anything bad to say about anyone and can always find the positive in any situation. She was the loving mother of 2 children, Darren and his wife Buffy of Atwater, and Shannon Nuve of Moraga, California. And she was the grandmother to Corbett and Connor McDaniel and Harper Nuve. She is survived by her big brothers, Frank Stein of Pinckneyville and George Stein of Millstead, Illinois. She was preceded in death by her big sister, Lavinia Benetti. Family and friends and others whose lives Meredith touched are invited to her memorial service, which is going to be at New Life Community Church, June 24th, 2021 here in Atwater, and it's at 2 p.m. They will also be celebrating her life and burial in Pinckneyville, Illinois at a later date. More importantly, I know, Darren, your mother loved you, and she was proud of you, Buffy, and the kids, and we love you, and our hearts go out to you. And with that, I'll adjourn the meeting in the honor and memory of Meredith Maybelle McDaniel.